Hi friends, welcome to WebChamp. Here in this video, I'm going to talk about a Power Query Editor in Excel, and out of that, I already discussed in my previous video for Home tab. So here in this video, I'm going to discuss what is or what are the different various operations are there in Transform tab of Power Query Editor. So what you need to do, you need to open your Excel, go to Data tab, let's say data tab, and here you have multiple options to connect with different types of data source. I will connect with one of the data types, so I will say sales. Okay, let me select any of the Excel file. This is what data I wanted to import, so I can import that data to perform the various operations. We will see one by one. Okay, and here I will select the sheet. That sheet will be selected. Once the sheet is selected, if you want to load the data directly into the Excel, you can load. Otherwise, you can open your Power Query Editor by clicking on this transform data also. I don't want this warning message to be reflected on my screen. So here I'm going to discuss about all those operations that we can see in the transform tab. Okay, so prior to that, I would like to load this data. Later on, we will do the transformation. Again, I would like to connect with one more small set of data so that we can see that what is happening or what we are doing or how Excel is behaving by clicking on this. So let me bring another source of data, and I will say transform data. Okay, so I have two sets of data. So what I need, there is an option called transpose data. Okay, so what does mean by transpose? So I already discussed group by in my previous video where home tab is there, and here I have discussed what is mean by group by and all. For use first row as a headers is already discussed, so I'm not going to talk on this. So I will start from transpose. If you want to know this, study this, you can refer my previous video. You will find the link, or you can just go to the playlist and you can find the video for Power Query Editor home tab operations. So definitely be stick to the webcam and subscribe. Do not forget to subscribe the webcam because you are going to learn a lot many things in very easily, right? So if you want to transpose this table, meaning whatever the data you have in first column, that will be converted to the column level data, and whatever the headers we have, that will be converted into the row level. So if I click on transpose here, you will see that the data has gone. So headers will not be come here as a header at row level. So instead of that, you are getting directly data. So this is what my what we can say the name. I mean, for each of the students, we have created a different separate column by transposing the data. This is what about transpose data. Data tables will be converted, transposed. Okay, we can see that this row level data was there. I mean, roll number 1 to 110 was there. If I say transpose, so those data will be, we can treat, okay, if you want to make your roll numbers as a table header, I mean column headers, you are able to do that. There is a option called for that. I don't want this to be transposed to be used. Okay, so I will reverse. If you want to change the order, if you want to sort the data in descending order based on any of the column, you can say reverse rows. I mean, it will not sort. Okay, since these are the numbers, it looks like it is sorting, but actually it is reversing the rows. If you select name column and if you say reverse, it will automatically reverse. But it again, it looks like because roll numbers are associated with it. That's why it is looking like a sorting operation, but it's not a sorting operation. Okay. Then if you want to see how many rows are there in your data set, you can click on the count rows. There is an option called count rows. The moment you click, you will get a number of rows in your data set. If you want to change the data type of any of the column, you can go here. Okay, here there is an option for data types, so you can click on that and you can select the data type. It automatically change. Okay, I don't want this to be changed, so I will cancel this step now. Then if you want to rename any column name, yes, you are able to rename. and you can enter. I will say name 1, 2, 3, whatever the name you have to rename, you can rename them. Since nothing changed, it has not added any step. Okay, but there is an option to rename column name. Then something called replace value. Here, if I wanted to replace the uh, day value 21 to 20, yes, we are able to find, but it is not because replace one value with another. So we need to select that entire date. So I will say 06919992. Right. And now again you have to say 06 from date. It will not replace, okay, any single value. You, if you want to replace the value, you have to entire all the values, I mean entire sale values, and then it is possible to replace, and it has replaced the values. Okay, then there is an option called fill up and fill down. Let's say you don't have a date here, date of birth here, for last row. Then if you say if you select that column and if you say fill down, so what it will do, it will fill the date of 1092, fill the date for 1010. Let's say just assume, okay, there is a no date. This is a null. This is a null data, null column. Okay, or null cell, we can say that. And if I say fill down, what it will do, the date above that cell will be filled down. Similarly, we have an option for fill up also. I will say fill up. The moment I say fill up, suppose there is a blank in the middle, and if you want to if you say fill up, the downward cells date will be pulled up. Okay, and that date will be filled with the date below of blank cell. So this is how fill up and fill down is going to work. Again, there is something called pivot column, unpivot column. So whenever you have to transform the data into, what we can say, into a, okay, I will transform, I will make the changes in front of you so that you can see. So what I will do, I will select another data set. And if whenever you can use them, whenever you have to transform the data, you have a data in the column level. Column level means let me create a data set so that I can talk. Okay, first mode I don't want, skip mode I don't want, state, city, country I don't want, home office segment I will keep, customer details also I don't want, this I don't want, this I don't want, this I don't want. I will just keep, I'm just keeping selected columns, okay, so that it is easy to understand. Okay, so we have a data in column level. So what I will do, I will remove the column. So I will go to this, and here I will say remove columns. So we have a data set. Suppose we have a data set in segment in east. So home versus east is mapped, and we have a values against segments. Okay, so here you can see that consumer east. Again, there will be something consumer east. So we have a column level data. Same category, home office, consumer is repeating again and again, again and again in the same column. So we can say that that is a column level data. Again, region, if you talk, so yes, here you can see that there is a east, again south, central, east. So these are the repeated ones for a large set of data. Okay, so what we can do, we have to present this data, or we have to pivot this data. We have to create pivot on this data, so that my segment versus region should be reflected like a table. Means what I will do, I have to bring these region fields to the column headers, and yes, we can do that. But for that, what we need to do, first we need to remove this duplication. Definitely we need to remove the duplication, otherwise there is a little bit conflict. So what we can do, we can use group by, right, because there is a common categories in between two columns. So using these two columns, we can group by is nothing but using aggregation functions. So what I will do, I will go here, I will say group by is there, so I will select group by. Okay, so the moment I say group by, it will ask for segment, region I already selected. Okay, based on the segment and region, it should group my data. what I want sum of sale. So column name can be anything as per your interest. You can enter. And here what operation you have to perform. So you have to perform sum. I will select the sales column. I will say okay. My data set is reduced to this level, meaning in my entire range, actually I had 12 rows of data, which is which is a combination of segment and region. Okay, unique combination of segment and region for 12 values only, but that values are repeated for 5,000 rows, and I wanted to reduce that. Yes, I reduced. Now I wanted to bring this column level region into, because see, if you see home office east, again there will be a home office for each of the region. I don't want data to be reflected multiple times in each of the columns. So what I can do, I can pivot these. So first, at the very first place, you have to select the specific column which is to be converted to the as a column headers. Okay, so if I select this region and if I say pivot, okay, it will ask you value column sum of cells I passed, and I will say okay. What is happened? Again my table is reduced. I had only 3 segments, right? Consumer, corporate, home office, 3 segments. Okay, my entire data set is reduced in this way, and whatever there was in the region column has converted as a column header. This is what a pivoting. This is what a pivot column. So pivot column is nothing but converting a column level data into a row level data. Or we can say that if we have a data, okay, in the 2 or 3 categories or in column level, so we can convert that data into the table level. Now it is converted to the table level, or we can say that a row level. Okay. Next option we have is unpivoting. Okay, next option is something we have. It's called unpivoting. Okay, so unpivoting is exactly opposite. Now I have this east, central, south, and west are in my row headers. I mean column headers. Okay, in this row level, in the single row they are represented, right? So what I need to do, I need to bring back everything to the column level. So what I can do, I can select yes, whatever the column you have to pivot. Okay, whatever the column you have to pivot, you can either select that. If you don't want to select all the columns which is to be selected, means if there is a case that you don't want to pivot few columns and there is a large data set, there is a range of 50, 100 columns that needs to be pivoted, unpivoted, right? In that case, what you can do, you can select only columns which are not to be, or not, which are not a part of unpivot operation. Accordingly, we can do that. We can make the selection. Okay, I will select columns. Those are to be pivoted. Here, if you click on the drop down, there is an option unpivot column. If you say unpivot column, only selected columns will be unpivoted. Okay. If you click on unpivot other columns, okay, it will perform the, it will perform the unpivot operation on the columns which are not selected. Okay. After that, there is something called unpivot only selected column. So we have already of that option. Here is unpivot column. Okay. So we can use this way. So I am going to unpivot this. Okay. I'm going to unpivot this. I will say unpivot. What happened? Again, it bring back my entire call row level data into the column level data, right? And whatever there was as a region, as a headers, so that will be treated. Okay, all the column headers will be treated as a unpivoted column will be treated as a column headers. Okay, unpivoted column headers will be treated as attribute, and whatever there in that column as a value will be treated as a value. So it will create two columns. First one is attribute. It will create another column as a value, and it will perform the operation exactly opposite. It is not going to perform any kind of aggregation operation. Okay, that is part of group by. Don't merge group by with this pivot and unpivot. Okay, then there is an option called move column. So if you want to move your column to the left or to the beginning, to the end, or to the right side, you can select. I will say to the beginning. So this column will be at whatever the column you have selected and moved, that will be moved to the specified position. Okay. Then if you want to use any column as a list, you can use. You have to say convert to list, or there is a value. Okay, there is something. Yes, convert to list. Right. Yes. Then there is a something called student info. Okay. Sometime you need to split the column based on any kind of delimiter. Okay. There may be a segments in your company that is separated by what we can say the dot or any kind of data. Let's say here I have a data which is full name of few persons, and I have to separate this. I have to delimitate this. So you can, what you can do, what I can do, I can go to the split column. Split column is basically used to split the column values into multiple columns. I will say by delimiter. Okay, we have a number of options here: by number, by position, by lowercase to uppercase, by uppercase to lowercase, by digit to non-digit, by non-digit to digit. I don't think so. There is we have seen. Okay, we don't have seen that. So what we can do, I will select by delimiter. Here by default, it will automatically recognize delimiter since there is a space only. But if you want to split leftmost delimiter only or rightmost delimiter only, means where is a first space or where is a last space. So this is our two options. Or if you want to split the data for each occurrence of delimiter, you can select that also, and you have to say okay. It will convert that entire name into 3 columns. Okay, one column is converted to multiple columns. Means that's why it called as a split column. Okay, which is very similar to the delimitate or text to column in Excel. Okay, then if you want to convert your text into lowercase, it is possible. If you want to convert your text into the uppercase, it is possible. So for that, there is a something called a format, and if you want to capitalize each word, yes, you can use that also. If you want to remove the space from both the sides, yes, you are able to use the trim. If you want to clean non-printable characters from your data, so you can use clean function. If you want to add something to your text as a prefix before text, okay, so you are able to add. Similarly, you are able to add something at the end of text. Yes, that is also possible, but that is what possible because of by using a suffix. Okay, so as like I have splitted up column, if I wanted to join these 3 columns again, so there is an option called a merge column. I will say merge column, and separator. What you can do, I can select separator, and I will say okay, merge. So again, those 3 columns will be combined with separator as it is icon. So we can split, we can merge the column. There is something called extract. Okay, if you want to get the length of the number of characters in that specific column, yes, you are able to do that by using, or by here there is an option called extract. So by using this option, so if you want to extract left side characters by using first characters, so you can, as like we use left formula in Excel, similarly we are able to use the, or we are able to perform the operation here to get some kind of information from that table. Okay, so this is how it works. Last character, if you want to extract number of, yes, you can extract. You can use whatever the formula range of characters you can use. Okay, if you want to say you want characters from 5th index to 10 index, you can say 5 plus 5. Okay, so it will get it done. So you need to trial and error. You need to practice this. If you want to extract the text before any delimiter, if you want to extract the text after delimiter, yes, first occurrence of that delimiter. Okay, if you want text between 2 delimiters, yes, you are able to do that also. So these are the ready-made options. You don't how to use any kind of formula in Excel. If you get an your gets hands on Power Query Editor, if you have a fluency, or if you know how these operations or what are the different operations happens or we can do in Power Query Editor. So these are the important operations which are used in data transformation. Suppose in the cell, in any of the cell, if you notice that there is XML type data or JSON type data, you are able to parse that. You are able to get the create the table from that cell. Okay, from that data set. So these are the two again new, or maybe for you this may be unknown, but it's fine. Sometime you will get a chance to parse that. If you want to perform statistical operation, you are able to get the sum, mean, max, median is middle value, then average, okay, which is equal to the mean, standard deviation, count of values, count of distinct values. You can perform these many operations. Okay. If you have a number column, okay, if you have a number column and if you want to perform some kind of arithmetic operations, add, multiplication, subtraction, divide integer will return you the integer number after division. Okay, it will not return for numbers in decimal or fractions. So it is going to return you the integer number only. Modulo always return you the reminder after performing that operation on whatever the number we passed. Okay, then percentage will give you have to mention that. Suppose if you want a 10% of any number, you have to say percentage and let's say 10. And if you say okay, so it will give you the 10% of that specified number. If you want to find the percentage of any value, yes, you are able to do that also. Means suppose there is a value called 100. Okay, first what you will do, first percentage will give you the mentioned number percentage of. If you said there is a 50%, if you want to 50%, and there is a value called 500. Okay, in your cell, let me write on the screen so that it is easy. There is a value called 500. Okay, and if you simply use the percentage operation, percentage. Okay, so here it will ask you for the value. Suppose if you say 10%. So as we are aware of this, that what is a 10% of 500, so definitely we can say that 50%. And another option is percentage of. Okay, so again here you have to mention the option. I mean value, we have a next value as a 50. And if you say that a percentage of 50 is okay, so in another way, you have to say current value is 50 so that it will be easy to understand for you. Okay, current value as a 50, and you have to say that 50 is of what amount of 10%. Okay, so definitely if you use that option, you will get 50 to 500 could be converted automatically. So these options are works in this manner. Then there is something called absolute value. If you have values in negative, you can convert to the positive. If you want to get a square cube of any of the cell range, you can perform the square. If I say square, it will return me the square of each of the value from that column. Like you can get square root, you can get exponential value. If you want logarithmic value, yes. If you want to get the factorial, okay, the number will be a very large. It is able to calculate, but it won't be able to return that number in Power Query Editor. Power Query Editor do not support those many numbers. Okay, but yes, definitely Python will be there. Python will support a very big number. Okay, Python don't have any issues with that range or length of character or data set. So memory management is automatically happen. Okay, so now if you want to perform some kind of trigonometric operations, you are able to perform. If you want to round up, round down, perform the round operation. So these are the operations. Like it's like very similar that we can use we can do each and every operation in Excel by using formula, right? If you are aware of the Excel formulas, you are able to understand what is this mean by. Okay, if you want to get the information, if you want to check whether the number is even or not, you can click on easy one. So from information, if you want to check whether the number given is odd or not, you can say that it will say true or false in the terms of whether that number is not. Again, there is an option related to date and time column. Suppose there is a date option, okay, date type data column. So here you can see that my data type is date, and then you are able to get this. Okay, if you want to show the date only, yes, date only you can select. But when you can select date only when there is a data contains date and time both, and out of that both date and time, if you want date only, you can select date only option. If you want to extract year, start of year, end of year, yes, you are able to get the values accordingly by using these options. For month, you can try. Okay, you will get a month information about that. I mean, from that date column, then start of month, end of month, days in a month, name of month. I will say name of month. You will get June. Okay, so this is how June, September, April. So this is how it going to works. Similarly, we can do for quarters, we can do for weeks, we can do for days also. Okay. Now, here we have a we don't have date time type data, right? If we don't have time type data, then this option will be time related options will be grayed out. So what I will do, I will convert this column into the date time. There is an option called date time. Okay, and now you can see that you are able to get this. Suppose if you want time only, you can select time only, and in my previous operation we were able to see that date only. If I say date only, it will remain date. It will keep date and time will be removed. This is how it works. Then if you are if you want from time, hours, if you want only start of hour or end of hour, if you want, you can extract number of minutes, number of seconds, you can extract from these operations, right? So by using these many operations, definitely you are able to perform, or you are able to transform a data as per your wishes, and you can do, or you can use that data into your data analysis model, right? So this is what about a transform data type from Power Query Editor in Excel. I hope you like the content of this video. Thank you so much for watching the video. Have a nice day. Do not subscribe to forgot what I said, okay, incorrectly. I should say that do not forget to subscribe webcam. Thank you so much.